Hey guys, what I want to do is I want to talk about another type of lending. We've been talking about mortgages and hard money and seller financing. A new type of lending that is out there, when I say new, less than 10 years old probably. So if you're 20 years old, that may not sound very new. But when you're my age, 10 years or less, that's pretty new. And one of those types of lending is something called peer-to-peer lending. Peer-to-peer lending. And with peer-to-peer lending, what I want you to think about is that it is a new way to lend money and it's a new way to borrow money. It's called peer-to-peer, P2P. And what I want you to think about, and I think this is probably the easiest way for me to explain it, is if I asked everybody in this room right now if you knew what peer-to-peer was, most people would probably not know what it is. And I don't think that's an unusual thing. People don't know what peer-to-peer lending is as of right now. And so if I ask the question to everybody watching this, how many of you guys know what Uber is? You'd all raise your hands and say, I know what it is. But if I would have said 20 years ago that the largest taxi cab company in the world would not have a single taxi, you would have told me I was crazy. If I'd have said to you 20 years ago the largest hotel chain in the world would not have a single hotel, you would have told me I'm crazy. But obviously Airbnb figured that out. Uber figured it out when it comes to lending money. And so what is Uber? What is Airbnb? It is exactly what we know it to be. So let's use Uber as our example. It's private individuals giving rides to other private individuals through an app for a fee. I'm going to say that again. What is Uber? It is private individuals giving rides to other private individuals through an app for a fee. So guess what peer-to-peer lending is? It's private individuals loaning money to other private individuals through an app for a fee. So I like to call peer-to-peer the Uber of money lending. The Uber of money lending. That's really what it is. You can become either a lender or a person borrowing money. Here's the cool part when it comes to borrowing money. When it comes to borrowing money, you're going to be able to get what's called a soft pull done on your credit. Yeah, they're basing it on your credit score. It's not private money. It is not seller financing. They're checking credit scores. It's not hard money. It's not based on the hard asset. What they're doing is a soft pull, which means what? It doesn't impact your credit. You can find out exactly what you can qualify for just by going on and working through these apps. Now, I use a very basic one, and you can do whatever you want. I'm not here to recommend sites, but I do use a website called Credit Karma on a regular basis. I like it. Since I use it, I guess I can recommend it. When you go to Credit Karma, what you can do there is it will give you, and you can just basically say, I'm looking to borrow money. There's a little tab at the top that you can say, I need a personal loan. And then what it'll do is Credit Karma will look at your current situation, your credit score, your payment history, all that kind of stuff, and they will give you options as to what you may be able to qualify for from a peer-to-peer loan standpoint. And here's the cool part about it is I can apply or basically fill out their application is what it comes down to, and it does not affect my credit. They do a soft pull on me, and I can literally borrow, depending on the lender, up to 7 or 6 figures. So I can borrow over $100,000 from certain companies, and there's a ton of companies out there, and some of them have become very, very well known. 6, 7, 8 years ago, nobody knew who SoFi was. Now everybody seems to know who SoFi is. You've got Lending Club and all kinds of different ones, and I don't have to get into all of them. But go to a website like Credit Karma. There's other ones like Credit Sesame, and I'm sure there's tons of other ones that I'm not aware of. And it'll already have all your information in there, and you can fill out the application. And a couple of things that I would tell you is the amounts that they have on there that you can borrow. They'll tell you what their maximum is. So let's say that Lending Club's maximum is $35,000. One of the tips or tricks that I would give you is don't ask for the max. Ask for $33,000, and there's a lot better chance that you're going to get what you need. They can always give you more than you ask for, but they can also give you less than what you ask for based on their criteria. The key is, I know if you don't ask for it, you'll never get it. And more importantly, since it doesn't affect your credit score unless you do what? You actually take the money and borrow it. Why not go see what's available to you? I remember, I should say I've done this many times. I remember right before COVID, I was worried that maybe these companies would shut down. So the first week of COVID, I'm on Lending Club and SoFi borrowing as much as I possibly can. I know some of you guys are going, what? I always want to have access to capital. And so I borrowed a bunch of money before COVID, knowing that if something happened, I would already have access to that capital. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So guys, peer-to-peer lending, it's a big deal. And it's something that gives you lots of options. And I like options. So guys, look forward to seeing you on the path.